internet. I'm Hugo.
And I'm Jake. No.
Okay, today we're talking about Black Panther, Marvel's latest release, and I think one of their biggest financial successes so far.
I think is it the most?
No, not quite. I think the first Avengers...
It's going nuts.
Yeah,
I mean, for good reason.
I think it's like it's their number one for, like, individual hero introduction, if that makes sense, which doesn't shock me at all.
Ensemble films are probably more, and I assume Guardians got crazy.
Yeah, but that's because that was kind of a phenomenon. So anyway...
Right.
Black Panther. People tend to be on two sides of this. Either,
oh
my god, this is the greatest movie of all time, or like, this is good. I'm in the latter camp.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Is good. Now, I will say that the African American audience deserves to be pumped about this movie.
Oh, I totally get
it. Because, I don't know. I'm not a very, like, everyone needs representation 100% all the time. Like, we need to shoehorn shit in. But this is not that. This story is about, like, black people from Africa, and then, of course, they mirror it with the American experience of being a black American. And I think they did a good job without being, like, fuck whitey. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people leading up to this, there was another two camps. They were like, there was the more people being pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was three camps. People being reasonable about the film.
Yeah.
Black or white, whatever. They were just like, "This. I'm excited about this film.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about, seeing a full black cast."
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really happen unless it's a black kind of comedy or a Medea film. And you know what I'm saying?
No, I
like a real action blockbuster. It's rare. Again, people cite Blade and Spawn, but again, those were not what this is.
I think we're getting something similar later for a younger audience.
Right.
Disney's doing A Wrinkle in Time, and that has
right.
Quite large black cast, I think, as well.
Right. That's I haven't seen a lot about that.
Oprah's in it. It's a
right.
lot of,
it looked well shot though, because they did a preview for it in this movie. But anyways, and then there was the whole then there was like the BLM more extreme side, like this is big time. And then there's the other people on the other side, like, fuck this movie, it doesn't have any white people. Like, what the fuck is wrong with... Just enjoy a movie. Like, there was these little fringe elements. I'm so glad that, like, my experience in the theater had neither of those sides, and everyone was just like, yeah, it was just a mixed bag. Everyone was excited about the movie. It was a pretty good movie. It wasn't great. It had some issues, but it didn't have a lot, and it was fun. Yeah. I had a good time.
All right. So first, let's talk about some of the things we like about the movie, because... Let's start out positive.
I think character design is number one for me.
You mean just in...
Like, in general. Every character design. It was very pop. There was a lot of personality in each character's design, including Michael B. Jordan's character, who had... The hair in this movie? Oh boy, Michael B. Jordan's hair on point. Love that style. I think T'Challa was always really nice. He had really nice suits on when he wasn't. He was very presidential in that way, because that's what he's supposed to be. I kind of liked the future native thing they were going for.
Afrofuturism is the term I've heard people say when they're talking about this movie.
It was really cool. Like, the architecture designs, I mentioned it to you before you saw it. How it still has that, I forget it's like a stucco clay house.
Adobe?
Well, Adobe's
not
Native
that,
American,
but
yeah. So it's like a clay house, sort of, where they have the poles that stick on either side of the corner to give it structural support, but that very knobbed sort of corner style. Sure. And they did that just aesthetically on purpose, but it's obviously made of, like, vibranium and stuff, so they don't need it. It's just like an aesthetic choice that the people made in that culture. It's neat. I really like it. The different tribes, at first it was like over the top for me, but I bought in like a quarter of the way through the movie. I don't know. And the Black Panther suit designs are awesome. I like that they just kind of give the fans what they want, and then, like, here's the old one, here's two of the new ones, and then we're going to see that one in action too. So,
yeah, one of my favorite things about the movie, oh god, who played T'Challa? I'm forgetting his name already.
Chadwick
Boseman. I know you said his name.
He's a great actor. He played Jackie Robinson in 42 and a bunch of other stuff.
You know what I liked about this movie and Black Panther as a lead character compared to... Let me compare it to another movie that was recent. Doctor Strange. While I liked Benedict Cumberbatch, I felt like in Doctor Strange they were trying to make him be almost Tony Stark light-ish. Black Panther doesn't fall into either of the camps of
he takes
like
his shit seriously.
he's like he tries to take himself seriously for the most part, and like he's competent, like he's not jokey, and like
there's some small jokes,
but there's jokes that work. For instance, there's a scene with him and his sister where they are introducing the force thing on the suit where you put energy in and it can be
kinetic energy storage and then expulsion.
Sure. And there's a scene where he's like, "Why are you filming this?" And she's like, "No, just punch it." And he punches it and it bounces him back and he's like, "Delete that video." Like, it's a joke at his expense, but he's not trying to be funny. It's just a good, naturally written, character-driven joke.
Yeah.
The sister, by the way, I loved as well. I think she's a really great addition. In the comics, I believe T'Challa is also like a genius. I think in the movie they don't show that, which makes me think they took those characteristics and more put them onto the sister.
Which I'm fine with. She did a good job.
Yeah, to make it just not, oh, Black Panther, he's, Mary Stu, he's good at everything. So they kind of divide up the tasks among the different characters, which is cool. I liked all the scenes with her inventing stuff. Her explaining the inventions, the car thing that she gets into to help drive the car, but it's like a virtual thing. Very cool.
What was the guard's name? The bald woman. She was great. I forget. It starts with an O, and it's driving me nuts because it's been a couple weeks since I've seen it now. But she did a really fantastic job. I thought she was Okoye. Okoye. She was really good, and a lot of people are having like lady crushes on her, and I get it.
Sure.
She was a strong character. Also, the actor from 15 Million Merits and also, of course, Get Out played a minor anti-hero.
Yeah.
Villain, but also not that.
See, here's the thing. This is what I liked about the movie. Even though at points he was like, I'm gonna side with it, but it was kind of like, he's
right.
I get it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so the Killmonger, I think, is a big shining moment for this movie. I think Michael B. Jordan did a really good job. I liked a lot of his philosophy was very clear, and it's nice to have like, I know why this villain is a baddie, not just because it's a baddie.
Well, he's not. I mean,
he's barely a baddie. I'm just saying
his motivations make a lot of sense.
That's what I mean.
His plan is dumb as shit. But his motivations are great, though. I really enjoy that the King T'Chaka he was
flawed.
Yeah, he came over and the prologue was in Oakland in the 90s, and he killed the uncle who was the father to Killmonger or whatever.
Right, but one that shared and obviously groomed Killmonger to have a specific philosophy on Wakanda.
Yeah, and the philosophy isn't wrong. Wakanda probably should do more. This is a discussion which I know you and I have talked about. We wish was in the film more and more at the forefront. If you have technology and the ability to help others, what responsibility do you have to do so?
Right, and I think a little bit of it, you should think the first opening scene with the first suit on Black Panther moment, you should think that's a little fucked up because his ex at the time is like basically undercover with refugees, and there's some sort of warlord thing going on. They don't give it a name. And there's soldiers, right? African soldiers, because there's Wakanda and then there's Africa at large and wherever. I don't know actually where geographically Wakanda is. But it's just generic African warlord warring thing because they don't give a name to it. She's in there with a bunch of women that are being basically abducted.
Yeah.
And they were just going to wait that out, and she was going to get information on all this. And then they ended up needing her, so Black Panther comes down just where they kick the shit out of everybody and save people. But the idea that they weren't going to save everybody there. Whatever fate that they had there was probably going to happen, and she was going to do her best to try. Like, that's kind of... You should think, fuck you, Wakanda.
I'm also curious, outside of that main city, this is why I wish they had gone into more in-depth about Wakanda and what it's like. Okay, that the capital city is like that.
Well, the rest of it, when they fly through, is very agrarian.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, does the population that doesn't live in the capital city still live, like, in huts? Or, like, when they go...
Well, okay, so they show some of the other tribes. Like, he visits the... I do not remember the character's name.
The gorilla?
The Get Out... No, the Get Out guy. They visit his, and it's very agrarian. They have pastures. The gorilla guy lives. Is it just called? They just call him the gorilla, right?
I don't.
Because he's got the gorilla thing, but he calls himself the gorilla, doesn't he?
He has a name because he is a character
well,
from
I know
the
he
comics.
Is. But I think they called him the gorilla.
I don't know. They might have. I don't remember.
Anyway, there's a big gorilla head cave thing. It's really cool.
By the way, in case anyone's curious, the reasoning behind that, comic book wise, everyone in Wakanda worships a Black Panther god. I forget the name.
Black Panther-esque god.
Yes, a god that is their avatar is a panther, except for that one tribe which worships a god that is a white ape. Which is why, and that character will.
By the way, he was fun. I like that character, and I can't remember his name again. If it was the day after, I could remember most of these names, which is surprising considering how foreign they are to me. Because they have a lot of apostrophes, and there's a lot of they're not generic. What I'm besides Black Panther.
Yeah.
Maybe is it White Gorilla?
No, it's not that.
But so we saw a little bit of it, but I agree. We should have had a Killmonger T'Challa discussion about their competing philosophies.
Yeah.
Because basically the idea here is T'Challa starting out, because T'Chaka, his father, had this isolationist, we have to keep our technology out of the hands of the rest of the world because they could misuse it. And then Killmonger is basically like, we should fucking liberate our people.
Yeah.
Which, again, that's an extreme version of what the proper thing is. And by the end of it, we get to the middle.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that the villain actually kind of won in a way, like his philosophy influenced what T'Challa does. That's so well thought out, but we just needed that conversation to really happen.
Yeah, and you had said to me before I had seen this movie, some people were comparing him to like Heath Ledger's the Joker.
Not as transformative at all. He was a good villain. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's just there wasn't really. I can't point to a scene that I went, oh yeah, you know.
I like the museum scene.
That scene's great, and it's great for him building up mystique of the character. For instance, when he takes that mask at the end, and
he just kind of likes it.
Andy Serkis is like, "You telling me that's vibranium too?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm just feeling it."
Yeah, like, and he puts it on because in the previews, we were wondering why he had that mask on. He just liked it. Sure. I like that. I love that, actually.
Speaking of which, Andy Serkis's character Claw,
really
great comedy villain. It bums me out that they killed him in this because I really wanted to see him come back. He doesn't need to ever be a main villain. I
just kind of like him being the Penguin.
Yeah, being like a side thing.
Because the Penguin very rarely gets into fist fights.
The guy in the Netflix TV shows who gets beat up all the time.
The guy who's supposed to be Stilt Man?
Yeah, Andy Serkis could have been the Stilt Man of the Marvel movies. Occasionally, they beat him up to get information because he's kind of in with the.
Also, I really liked how shitty his arm looked.
Yeah,
because it was just kind of like a mannequin arm, and then it opens up and he's got like a cannon in there.
Because it's in the world, it's in the same world that Iron Man exists, but like this guy isn't Tony Stark.
No,
so it makes sense. Speaking of which, again, one of the technologies, the Black Panther suit, is essentially bleeding edge armor. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, that's exactly. I think that's going to influence Tony a lot.
It's going to have to be. If they do bleeding edge armor, they're going to either be Wakanda's going to be like to Tony. Well, at the end of this, and spoilers, I guess. At the end of the movie, he says we're going to start sharing our technology with the world. I mean. Maybe they'll offhandedly in the next Avengers be like, with the technology and information that has been released, Tony's been experimenting on his own, and he developed his own version of that.
Sure.
Or it could straight up be Black Panther's like, here, Tony, you can do this with your armor now. I don't know.
Yeah. I part of me also appreciates that they didn't dip into, like, here's all the other superheroes.
Yeah, because it's a fairly self-contained story.
I think it was totally self-contained. Right?
Well,
besides the very, very end credit
I
stuff.
say not because I'm assuming going forward what happened at the end of this film will very much influence Avengers, because clearly a lot of it takes place in Wakanda. I think let's talk about the lack of Soul Stone in this film.
Yeah, because I want to discuss. I have some theories.
Yeah, I think we probably have the same theories. The beginning of the film has a nice little epilogue that explains the history of Wakanda.
I like that a lot, actually, because I didn't need a bunch of origin story bullshit, and they just kind of, here's what it is. Here's the information you need to know.
I don't know if you noticed it the first time, but it's Killmonger's father telling him that story. Yeah, so that's cool. So the vibranium, whatever, meteorite hit Wakanda and imbued its land with like magical properties, basically, which is weird for vibranium.
You know what that reminds me a lot of? Ego.
A little bit, yeah, kind of.
But I also think there's a soul stone in the center of that chunk of rock.
Yeah, that somehow imbued the land, because again, the Black Panther powers come from eating that herb that they burned all of. So, I don't know what they're going to do now.
That comes up like, what, 3-4 times? They really hammer it home, but it's purple, which is important, right? Because we're missing the purple one, or we're missing the blue one?
I don't know what the colors are in the movies. I think it's the purple one, though.
So, I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised, because, okay, the vibranium glows blue.
Yeah.
But the flowers are very, very purple.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of think that that's because it gives him, like, he just eats it and it gives him, like, what he wants.
Also,
out of the,
when they
gives him what he needs, I guess.
They have him drink the purple drink and then they cover him in this dust, and he goes to that, like, spear.
Soul place?
That soul, where you can talk to the souls of your dead relatives.
That's really what I'm thinking.
Which is all purple, by the way. The sky's all purple. So it has to be the Soul Stone is in Wakanda or
and
part
influencing
of Wakanda.
Like, and just imagine that's just like something that grew because the Soul Stone's nearby.
Yeah.
So the Soul Stone is probably, I guarantee it's under Wakanda, because if you see, of course, we mentioned it when the trailers came out, they're in Wakanda for a couple scenes at least.
It seems like a good chunk of the movie's going to be there.
At least probably the first act.
I think the big battle at the end is going to be
Really?
Wakanda.
I don't think so.
Because it's only part... I think we'll have essentially two fronts. We'll have Wakanda, and then we'll have something happening kind of in space.
Well, definitely New York.
I don't think we'll see New York.
Spider-Man was there on the big wheel thing.
Oh, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, and Tony's there too, along with Doctor Strange. Which, by the way, is great.
Okay. Interesting.
That's what I'm saying. So where's the other Soul Stone? It's in Doctor Strange's thing.
Mm-hmm.
His Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah.
So those are the two fronts.
Let me try and think to myself, where are all those stones right now? One's on Xandar, the Power Stone, the one from Guardians of the Galaxy. One is in the Tesseract. One was in Loki. One was in Loki's Scepter.
He already has the thing from Asgard, the gauntlet. Right? He got that in after the credit scene, didn't he?
He didn't get that from Asgard. He had his own. Because in Thor 3, Hela, there's one in Asgard who says fake and pushes it over.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, fuck.
God, what the Aether from Thor: The Dark World? If anyone remembers that, was a fucking Soul Stone. Oh God.
Yeah. So yeah. And Vision's head.
And Vision's head. Yep. So Soul Stone's got
Vision's dead as fuck in this one.
Maybe
because he has a love interest with Scarlet Witch, which means he's dead.
I feel like if they were gonna develop the Scarlet Witch if they're gonna kill him, they should have developed him and Scarlet Witch's romance earlier than they
did a little bit in.
I know they did a little bit, but I'm saying they need one
Civil
more.
War? Was that it?
Civil War, yeah. They need one more film worth of them like actually being a couple, and then you can kill
That's
them.
why I thought Hawkeye was dead though. They bait and switched me, and they killed Quicksilver.
Who gives a shit about Quicksilver? Anyway. What else about the movie? You said the production design was good.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the big fight scene was really absurd though.
In what way?
Like the rhinos and shit. It was just kind of corny.
Yeah.
This movie's very corny.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of like, he is a king, and it's fucking what's his name? Now I can't remember his name. The guy with the eyeball.
Forrest Whitaker. Who is now Disney's go-to for expositing
weird eyeball guys.
Save the rebellion. Hope.
Literally that. Also, I was gonna call him Saul Guerrero.
Yeah.
For the record, but that's not his name in this. But he is pretty much the same thing. There was two black guys with weird eyeballs because I could not stop staring at that guy's eyeball when he got to see T'Chaka, his dad, in the Soul place. Whew. That eyeball's got stuff going on. You think the afterlife they just push it back in or something? I don't. That was not good.
By the way,
I'm sad that guy has real life bullshit going on with his eye.
I don't know. Speaking of the uncle, and all that stuff,
He looks really familiar, and I can't place him, by the way.
I don't know if this was intentional or if this is because the director of this film, who also directed Fruitvale Station and Creed, which were excellent films,
Michael B. Jordan.
He grew up in Oakland, so maybe he set the beginning in Oakland because he grew up there. But also,
probably,
Oakland is where the Black Panther Party started.
Yeah,
and the uncle happened to mention he's starting to militarize people.
Right?
Yes. Are they implying that in the Marvel universe the Black Panthers started because someone from Wakanda came to Oakland?
I think isn't that why Stan Lee and Jack Kirby wrote that shit?
I don't know why. I don't know why they called it Black Panther. I don't know if it had anything to do with that.
Oh.
Or if they were just
the idea of Stan Lee writing something like that gives me cringes.
Mm.
Yeah, right? Jewish old white guy.
Excelsior!
Excelsior, right? I'm down with the bitches and hoes. Fucking Stan.
Where was he in this movie? What was his
treasure.
cameo? It was really quick.
He picked up a bunch of chips.
Yep, that's what it was. It was at the casino.
At the casino.
Yeah.
Which just makes sense. He's a treasure, though. Pre-RIP him, because that's coming. But I'm trying to think. There were just so many cool moments in this movie. Again, I put it like top of the B tier. It's not like it's near the top. I don't know if it is the top. I'd have to go through all of them again.
Here's how I'd put it.
But it's not in their A's.
I liked it better than Doctor Strange because I felt like Doctor Strange had some tone issues with its humor. Though I think
the ending of Doctor Strange the first time was really, really great.
The climax of Doctor Strange is better, but I feel like Black Panther is a character I enjoy watching more, if that makes sense.
I'd say so. Although I was very interested in all the powers of Doctor Strange in that whole movie.
Yeah.
So,
better than Ant-Man.
I think Ant-Man's my low bar.
Ant-Man's my low bar, but I still enjoyed it kind of way, because it's just kind of
that's what I mean. Like, Ant-Man's that's the bar you have to meet for me to enjoy it. By the way, there was a petition on Twitter recently for Michael Peña's character to explain the story thus far. Yeah. Which I need. I need this. So just, honestly, if you just give Michael Peña 5 minutes at the beginning of Avengers, and just... You're like, so this is where we're at right now. There I was, and then it's him in New York during something, and yeah, man, that would be so great.
I think it'd be funny if he occasionally it's him running it down, but it shows where he was during each of these events, and it's like
he's always eating something.
It's like him watching the Iron Man press conferences. He's like, I am Iron Man. He's like, holy shit,
yeah,
it's Iron Man.
He's eating nachos or something
every time.
Michael Peña is so good in Ant-Man. He's the reason Ant-Man's good, I think.
Yeah.
But, so Thor the Dark World is...
Thor the Dark World is my floor of, like, I'm not going to watch this one ever again.
Iron Man 3 is there for me, too.
It's not.
No, 2.
I like
Iron Man 3 before we get to the climax, because I like Tony Stark's story, like, without the armor. Yeah. But Iron Man 2 is boring. Hammer Technologies is...
Thor 2 is my least favorite.
Yeah.
Followed by probably Incredible Hulk.
I like Thor 2 more than Incredible Hulk.
Okay. And then Iron Man 2, and then the rest are all movies I would gladly watch again.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 I'd still watch again, but like less often than the other ones. So, if you haven't seen Black Panther yet, I don't know why you haven't. You should go see it. It's a very enjoyable film.
If you like the other Marvel movies, I mean, this is... It's one you need, I think, too, because it's going to be a very big character, I think, going forward.
Yeah.
And it's going to inform a lot of the technology that happens in the next film. So probably, absolutely, I don't know what they're calling Captain America now, in this next one.
The rumor is he's called Nomad.
Is it? Okay.
That's the rumor.
But those shields are very clearly...
I go by Nomad now, but like, there's a rumor of a man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
After the credits... You stayed all the way to the end, I assume?
Which one do you want to talk about? Bucky or the UN?
Just Bucky.
Okay.
Because the UN thing is after their initial, which everyone stays for, I think.
Yeah.
Because they always do the graphical thing, and then they have a stinger, and then there's usually one after the credits. Mm-hmm. At least one. So Bucky showed up. He is in Wakanda. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, of course that makes sense. And especially earlier in the film, the sister had also said, another white man for me to fix, obviously referencing Bucky. So Bucky's in Wakanda. It seems like
He doesn't have his arm yet, though, so he's got a new arm coming.
The last time we saw him actually was at the end of Civil War. She said, we'll keep him frozen until we figure out a way to fix the brainwashing, so presumably he's going to go into Civil War fixed. Like, yeah. I'm assuming they figured out a way to fix everything, so now... If Captain America dies...
When Captain America dies...
He has a open to be the new Captain America, which is interesting. I'm still not sure if they're going to go Sam Wilson or if they're going to go him. It could really go either way.
Captain America has to be Bucky. Because the way they set up Falcon, he's just cool. I like Falcon as a character.
You like Falcon as Falcon?
I just like Falcon as Falcon. Like, I think the backpack thing is fun. I like the guns. I like the goggles. Anthony Mackie does a good job. I don't want to see Anthony Mackie have to be Captain America, but Bucky can be. You know what I mean? Okay. Like, I feel like Mackie's character would feel like he has to be, like he has to step in those shoes. See, I feel like Bucky would just pick it up and run with it.
I think you could have a really good movie, a Captain America 4, or basically...
But where the two of them are like, who's going to be it?
Oh, that'd be interesting. I was going to say, though, if you did pick Sam, have it be about him being like, I shouldn't be Captain America.
I'm with that, too, honestly.
And it's about... living up to a title, living up to something.
Well,
and it could even be about, because Disney has been more about the social commentary.
Steve Rogers is ridiculously patriotic, so...
You could talk about even, what does it mean to be Captain America when you're black?
That's interesting. I'm with that.
In a country where me saying that would already make people kind of go, what? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I know people are like, well, no one cares. There are people who definitely care.
I watched that movie. I like it when Disney and the Marvel Universe... Like, they took on, like, NSA spying. Like, the whole thing about Civil War is literally about, like, how our government currently surveys its own people. And that's important. And I thought that was a really good discussion, and I thought they did a good job. Because, like, Nick Fury's not wrong. He's just happens to be, they were infiltrated by Hydra. So it's, like, in the wrong hands, it's wrong.
But that's what Captain America's entire point is.
Exactly. So which means Captain America's right.
Yeah.
Because I mean they both have a point. It's much like this movie where again that's why I think the conversation should happen more. It needs to keep going. But yeah, I don't know. I think a Captain America where Steve is dead and it's just the two of them trying to figure out who goes on. I would like that. I would like that a lot. And I don't think I think both of them not wanting it is better.
Okay.
Because I don't think either of them would want it, but they're gonna.
You could call it. Fuck it. You could call
Captain
it
America's. Captain America's.
Something. Oh God, how would you do? I don't know.
Captains. I don't know.
Captains would be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't have the name recognition though, and Disney would.
Bucky and Falcon. It's a buddy cop drama.
God, I don't know.
I'd
watch that movie though.
Like Lethal Weapon 5.
I really hope before Stan Lee dies, if whichever major character dies first, whether it be Iron Man or Steve Rogers, you know, one of the main 5.
I just got a little bit of a chill.
You might say what I'm gonna say. I don't know. I want an after the credits scene where after one of them dies, they wake up and they meet God, and it's Stan Lee.
Okay, I was thinking Stan Lee getting the opportunity to actually eulogize one of his characters.
Oh, wow. That'd be really good.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, give Stan Lee 3-4 minutes. Not a cameo. A character. And have him eulogize fucking Steve Rogers. The character. Or Iron Man. I love that. Right?
He's not a good actor, though.
He doesn't have to be a good actor.
I love
He doesn't have to act, though. He literally just has to eulogize... one of a character he created. I feel like he could do that. He wrote those comics.
Stan Lee's not a great writer. No offense to him personally.
Not. I just think
he's a good story man. His prose are not up to date, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Captain America's a good idea. Iron Man's a good idea as a character then and now. It's just he doesn't write in a way that is conducive to modern audiences.
I agree.
So maybe have him write it and then hand it to an editor, and then they can, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Stan could do it.
Anyway, I'm very excited for Avengers now. All the pieces are on the board. All that's left is for the first move to be made.
Wow, that was really epic.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Hire me for your marketing, Disney.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's pretty much you lock that one up, lock that job up. Yeah, so Black Panther was really good. You should watch it. I don't really have anything else to say about it. I think I'm good. I got it out of my system. Looking forward to Black Panther 2.
Yeah, most of these, it's the syndrome of the first movie syndrome. I can't wait for the second series of all these. I want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp, Doctor Strange 2, Black Panther 2. I want to see them after it's like, you already know. Let's go.
Who does Black Panther team up with?
Ooh, Black Panther. If you had to team up Black Panther with another. This is. They'll never do TV crossovers.
That is cool.
I want Black Panther and Luke Cage.
That
to
is
team
cool.
Up.
And Daredevil. Yeah. Black Panther and Luke Cage would be fucking rad.
That would be really cool.
Damn. Okay.
Until next time. Here you go.
Blue balled. Thanks, Disney. Don't do it. Stop it. It's too late now. You broke the seal.